Hello YouTubers, this is my SV650s. It's 2007, full fairing, which is what the S was, what the S stood for. I've had it a couple of months and this is the last opportunity I'm going to get to ride it because the MOT runs out tomorrow and it's being part exchanged and going off to a dealership on Saturday, so I've only got a couple more days with it. This is the last opportunity I've had to go out in it. Thought I'd take it for a blast over Cannock Chase. Very nice on a summer's evening like tonight. Just pulled in at Shugborough Hall. See if there's any hot air balloons flying this evening, but there's not. What can I say about an SV? Before I bought one, I did my research on them and I probably went through every single video there is on YouTube about SV650s. And even then I couldn't find enough about them just to get the information that I needed. You can't go far wrong with an SV. The only reason I'm getting rid of it is because I've broke my wrist 3 times now, or twice, and the third one was a fairly good sprain. And it's not like it used to be. And a couple of miles on this, and literally probably a couple of miles in the same position, maybe 5 or 10 miles, it starts to tingle and I lose feeling in my wrist, and it's becoming a bit of a chore now to ride the bike, which is a bit of a shame because I'm going to miss it. It's a hell of a bike. It's got so much power, the smallest twist on the throttle and it just goes. Doesn't matter what gear you're in. Great for beginners and great for those that have been riding a while too. It's done nearly 17,000 miles, and you wouldn't know it. It's not long had a service, which definitely made it a lot smoother. The clutch is light, the gears change at just the slightest flick of your toes. The brakes are great, the front's brilliant, the back brake is a little bit spongy, but they're not the best anyway, until I tested it the one day and boy did it work, and the back end of the bike ended up squirring around all over the place. And there's so many little bits of extras and touches you can do on it. I did have a double bubble tinted screen on it, and to be honest with you, I don't really think it made a lot of difference. I'm sure it's supposed to, but the front fairing does a fair job of taking a lot of that wind blast off you. These ugly orange indicators, I did have clear ones, but obviously it's going to a dealer, so I've took them off. So why should he make money on my bike? The clear ones look much better. I fitted some wheel tape, which is reflective, just smartens up the bike a lot. I've put some crash bungs on there because at the end of the day they're 20 quid and a new fairing's like 400 quid. It's got a fuel exhaust with a removable baffle, which is when you take the baffle out, my god, the neighbours can hear you coming. Sounds great. And there's so many other things you can do. It's got a tail tidy on it, which obviously smartens up the rear, takes away the number plate light. You can get a hugger for it, which is probably advisable really, because it doesn't half get dirty just inside there. You can get a single cowl for the rear seat. I didn't bother because I couldn't find one that was painted, and I carry a rucksack. I just thought it might scratch the paint if I had the rucksack on it. I'll just take the seat off for you. You can see what storage is in there. Not a fat lot really. People say you get your waterproofs in there, but I struggle to get mine in. I don't know how big your waterproofs are. At the end of the day, if you want something with storage, buy a Tourer. Tank bad fitted. Show you the startup on these. I'm sure if you're doing like me, you did your research, you've seen this a million times. So you've got 3 trips on here, an overall trip, and then trip A. Shows I've done that many miles since I've had the bike in 2 months, and trip B. I tend to leave trip B so as my fuel, how many miles I do per tank of fuel, because obviously there's no fuel gauge on here, and the only reason you know you're running out of fuel is the fuel light starts flashing, and then when you're properly empty it comes up on solid orange light. So I'm getting about 175, 180 mile out of the tank, which I don't think is too bad. But I've let it lapse because obviously I've decided to sell the bike, so I'm not really bothered about how much fuel's in there. When the light comes on, I'll fill it up. I'll crank it up so you can hear the exhaust. Pull the clutch and start. Away lovely. Of course, without baffling, that's amplified a great deal. Sounds terrific. Oh, I feel like it's just what I wanted. You've also got a clock on there and an engine temperature. So that's about it really. Great bike. Only a side stand. I've swapped it for a, don't laugh, Yamaha XJ6 diversion, purely because it's got the riding position that I want, a bit more upright. I've taken it out for quite a lengthy test ride and it's nowhere near as quick as this, unfortunately, but if I don't like it, give it a couple of months, I'll get rid of it. I've got more for this in part exchange than what I paid for it. They'll always sell these, well, because they're great first bikes, they're cheap on the insurance, and you can't really go far wrong with them. I didn't manage to find a bad report about them, to be honest with you. And if you get the fully faired version, it does not look like a fantastic sports bike. So if you're going to get one, just don't think about it. Go out and get it, and see what you think about it. I am going to miss it, but I'm not going to miss the riding position. But not all people are like me, and they're very popular bikes. So hope this helps. If you've got any questions you need me to answer, or any queries, post them on the end of this video and I'll get back to you. Thanks very much and best of luck.